Welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Stella Inameti, and our sign language interpreter is Anna Olayinka. Let's begin with the headlines. Organized labor suspends strike, directs FCT workers to return to work. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency amplifies national response to alternative cannabis cultivation. Plus, United States and India ease tension with landmark trade deal. Thanks for joining us. The World Bank has expressed readiness to mobilize support for Nigeria towards achieving its immediate target of $1 trillion economy with 7% GDP growth rate. The Managing Director of Operations of the World Bank, Anna Jerde, made the commitment during a meeting with President Bola Tinubu this Tuesday. State House correspondent Musbah Dan Wahab reports. I've just been told that the reports will come in a subsequent bulletin. In a significant move to strengthen bilateral ties and ease tensions, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a landmark trade deal with India, drastically reducing tariffs on Indian goods and addressing a long-standing issue over India's purchase of Russian oil. The deal sent shockwaves across Indian markets, with Mumbai stocks surging nearly 5% at the open. Let's hear from Comfort Fashion.
In a bid to revitalize the close ties between the U.S. and India, Trump announced that tariffs on Indian goods would be reduced to 18%, a significant cut from the existing 25% reciprocal tariffs imposed earlier. This move comes as a relief to Indian investors and businesses, which had been grappling with the high tariffs for months. The deal marks a significant turning point in the long-standing issue of India's purchases of Russian oil, which had been a major point of contention between the U.S. and India. And Trump claimed that Modi had agreed to stop buying Russian oil and instead purchase more from the U.S. and potentially Venezuela. This decision is seen as a major victory for the U.S., which has been trying to end the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. In a statement, Modi thanked Trump for the wonderful phone call and easing of tariffs, but refrained from commenting on Trump's assertion about holding Russian oil purchases. The silence has raised eyebrows, with many speculating about the implication of the deal on India's relationship with Russia. The U.S. has been exerting pressure on India to stop buying Russian oil, with Russian President Vladimir Putin visiting New Delhi just this last December and announcing that he was ready to continue uninterrupted shipments of fuel to India despite U.S. pressure. However, this latest deal appears to have changed the dynamics, with India agreeing to purchase more than $500 billion in U.S. energy, tech, agricultural, coal, and other products. The timing of the deal is significant, as it does in the wake of the U.S. efforts to oversee Venezuelan oil exports since the toppling of President Nicolas Maduro in a military operation in January. And this move is seen as a potential game changer in the global energy landscape, with India becoming a key player in the U.S. strategy to reduce Russian influence. As India embarks on this new chapter in its diplomatic relations with the U.S., one question that comes to mind is, will Russia remain a partner or a rival? Or will it become the next casualty in the U.S. bid for global energy dominance? I guess time will tell. Comfort, Fashion, NTA News.
In a groundbreaking week for African-Arab economic relations, the United Arab Emirates has sealed comprehensive trade agreements with both Sierra Leone and Democratic Republic of Congo. These accords mark a paradigm shift in intercontinental trade, breaking down barriers and redefining possibilities in key sectors from Casablanca to Kinshasa. Again, Comfort Fashion tells us more.
In Abu Dhabi, a significant milestone in the diplomatic relations between the UAE and Sierra Leone was marked with the signing of Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreements, CEPA. Witnessing the ceremony where UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Sierra Leonean President Julius Maada Bio, underscoring the strong bilateral ties and mutual commitment to fostering economic growth and cooperation. The CEPA will reduce trade barriers, boost investment flows, and promote private sector cooperation in key sectors like agriculture, renewable energy, and infrastructure development. In recent years, non-oil foreign trade between the UAE and Sierra Leone has grown to $153 million, with a robust increase of €129.5 million. And this agreement aligns with the UAE's long-term objective of strengthening economic ties with African countries. And separately, the UAE President and Congolese counterpart Felix Tshisekedi also oversaw the signing of a Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, in Abu Dhabi, aiming to bolster bilateral cooperation. According to the Emirates news agency, the agreement is set to reduce tariffs and eliminate trade barriers, and this is expected to significantly enhance investment flows and create new avenues for private sector collaboration in vital industries, including mining, agriculture, and clean energy. Recent growth in non-oil trade between the UAE and DRC has reached $2.9 billion, a 16.1 year-on-year increase. The CEPA is set to eliminate trade barriers, enhance investments, and create new areas of collaboration. As the UAE and its African partners continue to build stronger economic ties, these agreements are set to boost trade, growth, and development across the continent. Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
Nigeria has created new investment windows through foreign direct investment and is ready to partner with Africa and global bodies to ensure sustainable energy sector transition. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this at the 9th Nigeria International Energy Summit 2026 held at the State House Conference Center. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jubrila reports.
It started with a digital exhibition to discover cutting-edge technologies and solutions in transforming the energy sector as Nigeria stands at the center of Africa's energy transition. The forum is also committed to connect with international energy leaders and explore cross-border partnerships.
Today we meet at a historic moment. Energy is no longer a sector. It is the lifeblood of global peace, security, and human development.
Financing remains the main bottleneck, hindering the development of our strategic projects. More than 150 essential projects, from refineries to pipelines such as the AKK pipeline to gas infrastructure, remain blocked.
Let us resolve that our priority as a continent is that our energy is for us first, and if we have excess, we can export it.
With the theme Energy for Peace and Prosperity, securing our shared future, this summit looks forward to analyze emerging trends, policies and investment opportunities in the digital space, and the Nigerian government and other African leaders gave assurance to provide institutional support towards securing the shared future.
Prosperity is also the prosperity of Equatorial Guinea and of the entire region.
Nigeria's leadership role in convening this summit is significant. As Africa's largest economy and one of its most energy-endowed nations, Nigeria's policies, investments, and innovations have implications far beyond its borders.
Foreign direct investment into the oil and gas subsector rebounded strongly, driven by regulatory certainty, fiscal reforms, and improved operational guidelines and conditions. We also introduced a broad executive order on oil and gas investment enabling to unlock up to $10 billion United States dollars in capital inflows, streamline projects approvals, reduce bureaucratic delays, and position Nigeria as a prepared investment destination. In 2025, we introduced the Upstream Petroleum Operations Cost-Efficiency Incentives Order, providing tax credits of up to 20% to promote cost efficiency, enhance competitiveness, and deepen Nigerian participation.
It is expected that after the summit, the forum will create a direct access to relevant stakeholders, especially regulators and industry chief executive officers, in driving Africa's energy agenda. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The federal government is promoting large-scale production of cassava and soybeans to satisfy demands in both local and international markets. This development came to light as the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security received a report on the second Africa Cassava Conference. Musa Babaliu has the details.
Cassava offers substantial economic potential from its stems and leaves to its tubers, with strong demand for use in food, energy, and animal feed. The global cassava industry is undergoing a significant shift, transforming from traditional subsistence crop into a premium industrial product with market value exceeding $210 billion in 2024. The recently concluded African Cassava Conference emphasized value addition to support food security, animal feed, and raw materials for factories. Conference organizers are here with the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, to discuss how Nigeria can capitalize on the meeting's outcome.
And also, it's a crop that is very sensitive, from production to harvest to process to market. If it's not done properly, you lose standards, you lose quality, and so on and so forth.
In addition to cassava, discussions also covered soybeans, focusing on ways Nigeria can boost production to fulfill demand for countries like Saudi Arabia, which seeks an annual supply of 120 million tons from Nigeria. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The National Counter-Terrorism Center says in its counter-terrorism strategies, strong emphasis will be placed on non-kinetic interventions with a view to addressing the root causes of radicalization and criminality. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports that the National Coordinator, NCTC, Major General Adamu Laka, affirmed this at the presidential launch of the Safe Nigeria initiative in Abuja.
The Safe Nigeria initiative has a nationwide coverage and an anticipated reach of over 11,000 youths between the ages of 15 to 40, with priority given to out-of-school youth, internally displaced persons, and youth in crime communities as deliberate investment in crime prevention. While the National Counter-Terrorism Center is widely known for coordinating counter-terrorism and security operations across the country, the sustainability of peace depends not only on security measures, but also on addressing the human and societal drivers of insecurity.
The initiative is designed to bridge humanitarian response and national security objectives by empowering vulnerable youths with skills, livelihood, psychosocial support, and civic awareness.
Beyond empowerment, this initiative represents a shift in national strategy, one that aligns humanitarian and skills responses to strengthen community resilience and social cohesion.
Young people who are economically productive, socially included, and psychologically supported are far less likely to be drawn into crime or violent extremism.
Using the kinetic fact of security cautions will be important in terms of tackling insecurity in Nigeria.
It also helps the youth by becoming employed, also solving unemployment for youths in Nigeria.
This approach reflects the whole of government and whole of society strategy that Nigeria continues to advance in addressing terrorism and violent extremism. Olajude Bello, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International. It's time for a break. We'll be back with more reports in a moment. Welcome back. The federal government has arraigned a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami SAN, alongside his son, Abdulaziz Malami, on an alleged charge of abating terrorism financing and illegal possession of firearms. The duo were arraigned on 6 counts before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The defendants pleaded not guilty to all the 6 counts charged. Following their plea, prosecution counsel, who applied for a hearing date, equally urged the court to remand the defendants in the custody of the DSS pending further processes. Counsel to the defendants, Shuaibu Aruwa, made an oral application for bail, informing the court that the defendants had been in DSS custody for about 2 weeks. He further claimed that one of the defendants was brought to court directly from the hospital and pleaded to the court to grant bail on compassionate grounds. The presiding judge, Justice Joyce Abdul Malik, however, directed the defense to file and serve a formal bail application. The court subsequently adjourned the matter to 20 February for commencement of trial. In the charge, the federal government alleged that Malami SAN, sometime in November 2022, knowingly abated terrorism financing by allegedly refusing to prosecute suspected terrorism financiers whose case files were forwarded to his office while he served as Attorney General of the Federation. The defendants were also accused of unlawful possession of the firearm and ammunition, offences punishable under relevant provisions of the Firearms Act. Mr. Malami is also facing prosecution by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in a separate case of 8.7 billion naira alleged money laundering charge, alongside his son Abdulaziz and wife Asabe Bashir, before another judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation has commenced the accreditation exercise for the selection of 5 new federal permanent secretaries following the approval of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The process is designed to fill existing and impending vacancies for candidates originating from Adamawa, Bayelsa, Enugu, Kano, and Ogun. In a statement, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson-Jack, described the accreditation as the foundational step in a critical national assignment that will determine the future quality, integrity, and capacity of the Federal Civil Service leadership. She charged the accreditation committee to execute its duties with utmost diligence, thoroughness, and strict adherence to established rules and procedures, emphasizing that the principles of fairness, transparency, and merit must be paramount throughout the exercise. The eligibility criteria for the appointment of a permanent secretary is outlined in the Public Service Rules 2021, and the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation remains committed to a robust, credible, and merit-driven process. The Joint Union Action Committee, representing all FCTA staff, has called off its industrial action. This is following a conciliatory meeting with the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, at the instance of the Chairman, Senate Committee of FCT, Mohammed Bomoy. A statement jointly signed by the Secretary General, TUC, Nuhu Turo, and the Acting General Secretary of NLC, Benson Upa, agrees that no worker shall be victimized or for participating in the strike action. All outstanding cases at the National Industrial Court shall be withdrawn immediately. Consequently, all JOAC members and all affiliates of TUC and NLC workers are directed to resume work immediately. The governor of Imo State and chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, has been appointed chairman of the 73-member Central Coordination Committee for the 2026 National Convention of the All Progressives Congress. Governor of Kwara State and chairman of the Nigeria's Governors Forum, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, will serve as vice chairman, while the governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, has been named secretary of the committee. The National Examinations Council, NECO, has released results for the 2025 SSCE external examinations with 85,256 candidates out of 93,330 getting credit and above, representing 91.35%. Registrar and Chief Executive of NECO, Professor Dantani Ibrahim Wushishi, who announced the results, also revealed that 9,016 candidates were booked for various forms of malpractice. Dauda Mohammed reports.
The National Examinations Council NECO SSC External provide an opportunity for candidates who did not make up their papers in internal examinations. 95,160 candidates sat for the examinations out of the 96,979 that registered. 68,166 candidates, representing 71.63%, scored 5 credits and above in English and mathematics. The released results also indicate 82,082 candidates, representing 86.26%, scored 5 credits and above, irrespective of English and mathematics in the 16 subjects examined. The recognition.
We have our CBE control room at the headquarters here. So anywhere in the world that we are holding CBE examination, we monitor the conduct of that examination from our control room here.
9,016 candidates were found to have participated in various forms of malpractice, higher than the 6,160 recorded in 2024. 5 supervisors, 2 from the FCT and 1 each from Kanu, Adam and Ondo states, were recommended for blacklisting due to aiding and abetting exam malpractice. 4 centers, 2 from Niger, 1 each from Yobe and Kanu states, were found to have been involved in whole center malpractice and were recommended for the recognition.
There is also an increase in the number of candidates that registered for the examination. Last year, 84,799 candidates sat for the examination. This year, 95,160 candidates sat for the examination.
The results are being released 52 days after the last paper was written and is a milestone for the examinations body in its quest to provide credible assessment and reliable results for Nigerian students. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
With less than 3 weeks to the FCT area council elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission is calling on journalists, media executives and on-air personalities to uphold accuracy, fairness and balance in election reporting. At a media forum in Abuja, INEC described the press as critical stakeholders in the electoral process, warning that misinformation before, during and after elections can undermine public trust and credibility. Rabia Shoaib reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission says credible elections depend not only on transparent processes, but also on accurate and responsible media reporting. Addressing media executives, producers and reporters at a stakeholders forum, the Commission stressed that journalists are not mere observers, but active partners in shaping voter perception and strengthening confidence in the electoral system.
As the election approaches, the media will play a decisive role in the areas of voter education and public enlightenment, countering misinformation and disinformation, providing factual, balanced and issue-based reporting, and supporting peace through responsible headlines and narratives. This is why this forum is essential to build shared responsibility and reinforce professional standards.
INEC raised concerns over declining voter participation and warned that false narratives, recycled videos, fake result sheets and misinformation continue to threaten electoral credibility.
Participation remains a key element in ensuring that elections are free, fair and credible. And, the rate of voter participation, we all agree, has not been optimal. It's like it's been on the decline, since 1999. And so we ought to be able to stem that and then reverse that trend. This is where, of course, you come in, because if you give effective and professional coverage, it will help to go a long way to ginger public confidence in our election.
Media professionals were urged to adopt data-driven reporting, ensure equitable coverage of all political actors, and maintain zero tolerance for hate speech. The Commission maintains that improved technology and safeguards have reduced incidences such as ballot snatching and manual manipulation, urging the media to verify facts before publication and help continue to build public trust in the electoral process. In Abuja, Rabia Shaib, NTA News.